So today I'm going to talk about the monster. Anybody know monster, or anybody don't know? Anybody who don't know monster, put up your hands. Everybody knows monster? Wow, this is like a brand awareness that goes to everybody's mind. And I heard one time I read like a very humorous cartoon. There's a rabbit mama, rabbit daddy in the like family. And there's a thing that says, when mama's not happy, nobody's happy. When daddy's not happy, who cares? So through the years of my observation, through the economy, up and down, I find like in the company, when our CEO is not happy, nobody's happy. We're talking about a reorganization. But when employee not happy, we go to monster.com. So anything I can switch the slides? This one? So today I'm going to talk about a holistic predictive analytics methodology, because everybody is talking like a fabulously presentation. So when I look at mine, so I got to put some fancy words there, like attract people's attention, right? How about a holistic rather than partial dots? So because in life, like we connect dots together, make some meaning, right? So that's why I like put the fancy words. Another thing is the day when Catherine emailed me about what is your topic, I was happy on the phone discuss with discussion about the Chinese medicine, which is boiling whole pot of herbs together. Don't know like why, but it works. In some medicine, like only one element in it. So when you have headache, painkiller. So this is something give me a hint. Maybe in our predictive analytic world, we should do something holistically, not get the side effect. Have headache, painkiller. We need to find out why, and then like give some whole pot of herbs for you to drink. And then find out, oh, actually, headache is gone. I'm perfectly healthy, no side effect. So this is the dots. I put it together. We're talking about the monster, and then put in like a sticker note here. We're talking about monster, and then talk about the sense, whether I make a sense or not. And then we're going to talk about the holistic. Why is holistic? And then what is in our view of holistic? And then we talk about predictive analytics. Since we have all the experts here, so we're going to have a Q&A. It says Q&A, but actually maybe I ask question, you answer. So that's my plan for today. So put the dots here so everybody can connect it together. So since everybody knows monster, so it seems like there's nothing left for me to say about it. But there's one thing, like in our slogan, we said, behind every resume, there's a talent. So when I read that slogan, I said, wow, this is something really like inspiring. It's really good, like make all the job seekers feel good. So in that sense, we attract lots of, we have like 58,000 resumes added, like new active resume to our like resume database. And I think the older ones, at least make my work like feel like daunting, like there are hundreds, millions of resumes we need to process the text, do the text analytics, parse to the data. Especially when the economy like goes south, we just feel like, wow, why are we so busy? So everybody here, make sure like whenever you have new jobs, post it to Monster, so we can have some revenue to support our busy work. So we have some innovative product called Sixth Sense. So basically, since we have so many resumes, it's really hard when you get 3,000 resumes there. Like it's very hard to find. Behind every resume is talent, but you need to find the specific talent you like.
Do you see the dead?
Huh?
Do you see the dead?
There are some inactive ones. We could not call them dead. We call them inactive. maybe after a while. And those like dead ones, we label them passive seekers, which is especially like everybody here, you got your job, you're not looking for a job, you're not dead, you're just exceptionally attractive by your own company. So we've got to find a way to attract the passive seeker to a workforce, inspire you to have a better life. So in that way, your company will post a job with us. So we have the fancy product systems, which is matching we have the technology, the search matching the candidates with your criteria. So they were ranking all those, and then you will find this one get a score of 9 instead of 8, which is and when you read the description, more fitting to your description. So have a look at our resume access, the power search functionality. Take a look at whether you'll find some corporate dogs there. So balance with your corporate cats. And since like our mission is to inspire people to improve their lives. You know, today when I look at so many wonderful presentations, I feel like I learned a lot. And when I meet the experts here during the discussion, I feel like this is a wonderful opportunity. So after my presentation, I predict all of you sit here, you will inspire. After I can see you, like in your mind, you will think, wow, this is really inspiring because I can do a way better job than her. So you will feel inspired. You know. Another thing you'll get another, like besides the share the present, you absolutely get is if you put up with me for these 40 minutes, you will win. You just, wow, you will win. What gift? Endurance. That's enough monster because everybody you know, right? And then you get some sense, you know, monster have some best employment site. You agree? Somebody will vote about it. And winner for top HR product of the year of 2010. And the winner of the top 10 most innovative organizations. I guess this is when we do the experiment. Oh, this thing doesn't work. Let's try this way. That's called innovation. So we keep on doing those. So keep on doing those. And then when people see this, that's innovation. Now let's talk about holistic. Did you ever see this? Have you ever seen this? Have you ever encountered in your organization about this scenario? See, the corporate cat is saying, we have a gigantic database full of customer behavior information. So the cat called the dog. The dog says, excellent. We can use nonlinear math and data mining technology to optimize our retail channels. Does this look familiar? Your daily work? And then the cat answered, says, if that's the same as the span, we are having a good meeting here. At least it's something positive, right? So in our daily work at a company, you know, we have the business demand, especially these days we have the website, whether the social network, email, texting, Twitter, and your customer transactional database, you know, do the survey, the psychographics, you know, all this like technical support, all kinds of things we can capture this data. And all these different, each different department, they have their own report. So this month we have this much growth, that much growth, and then the other is the outsourcing lead generation. We have these 60,000 leads for us to target. Unfortunately, you find that 30% of them are already your customer. So through the partial data analysis, you get a certain report. But sometimes when the corporate cat raises, this is so confusing. This department says 65, that's 35, that's 46. What is this percent based on, right? Sometimes you need to connect the dots. But among all those summarized top-level reports, you want to connect the dots, it's really hard. It's just like when we were young, we think about, I once heard Steve Jobs talk about when he dropped out of the college, what's he thinking? He cannot connect the dots, but when he looked back, he connected the dots. So that's the task giving us. So it's giving us the opportunity, like we just heard, we got a job. It's a good job for every one of us here. Let us do the predictive analytics to prioritize, at least let our customer not consider as a spam. We do some predict modeling and to identify who's most likely to convert, who's most likely to be with us, to return that customer. So that's created the opportunity for us. So now I'm going to talk about the holistic psychological cycle. I find these days the psychological things become very hot, very, as we know in the past, we all know, the deepest ocean, there's no deeper ocean than a human heart, human mind. The psychological feeling is very important, no matter you admit or not, but you have encountered those. And I observed in the 2002, the Nobel Economic Prize winner, they basically integrated the psychological feeling into the economic research. We're no longer you buy things based on your needs. So you buy polo shirts, not because you need a polo shirt, you just need a shirt. But why you buy polo shirts? Because you saw the advertising. You saw your coworker, your boss is wearing the polo shirts. So you wear a suit. Doesn't mean you need a suit. You can wear a sweater. But it's because in the corporate environment, everybody else wear those. So this is kind of a psychological. So he integrated the psychological into the study. And this year again, this Nobel Prize for the economics, again, they put this into consideration. There are so many, integrated the user search, which is integrated with the psychological feeling into it. There are tons of jobs out there. There are tons of job seekers there. And also there are also lots of jobs there. But why, some people just, nah, that's not my dream job. I'd rather wait. I'd rather search more. Just go ahead and get one. But no, it's not. People have their choices, their preferences. So it's quite interesting. I find that the psychological feeling is something we need to consider in our predictive analytics. So that in that sense, we say we got to put our heart under, put ourselves under, be more humble, to look at our customers' eyes, see what they need, and then we can understand them. So there's one time I remember I purchased something. I just go back to China, I visit friends, so I know they like the New Yorker shaver, those stuff. And then after I purchased the order from online, and then I keep on receiving the emails, ask me buy the shavers. I don't have that much hair to shave. I only need that one time, but I keep on receiving this. And one time I ordered a business cards, for some party or brochure. The second day, you got 50% off for your brochure, for your brochure. 75% off for your business. Hello, I just ordered yesterday. And then, yeah, I'm in your database. So you start to marketing me, right? But you got to understand me. Once I order a card, I need to use some days, right? You need to analyze the time between the orders. Okay, let me spend some time to use these cards, and then I order the second time. And then another things make me feel mad, Hey, I ordered the full price yesterday. You said it's 50% off today. Sometimes, if a very sensitive customer, I'm going to call them, give me the 50% discount, right? So basically, you make the purchase lose a certain margin. So that's something like an opportunity for us, for us to understand their feeling. So in that way, we can act on it. We can, when we define those programs, we can do the data mining, the predictive analytics, take this into a customer, make it very attractive. And then sometimes, yesterday I heard Mark mention that, I like the words we say. We need to present the right offer to the right people at the right moment, right time. So we don't want you order yesterday, today you want to order again. So you want to a certain period of time, or maybe you just messaging differently. Hey, you ordered yesterday with us, but come on, if you refer certain friends, your friends may need a card, blah, 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 you will get certain credit, something, at least give some recognition for their action being your customer, right? So this is something put yourself at an attractive mood, so to attract those customers. And from those referral, you can acquire more customers. So this is the certain part later we're going to discuss how we're going to integrate, if we do the prospect acquisition model, to identify who most likely to convert. So put certain action in this step, in the second step. And then after you acquire those customer, you need to build the relationship. I ordered the business card yesterday, and you send me email, ask me to order again today. That's not called build a relationship. You're just pushing too much. So maybe after a while, you say, are you happy with the business card? How many you've used? You consider after a couple of months, you consider to order more, or we have certain other offers to follow up with this. And do you have any image you want to make your card more professional or something? Build the relationship through the customer service. All those are back-ended by our data analysis at the back end, right? We'll provide this data to the sales rep, or to the telesales rep, or to the people on the web chatting services. And then we also needed to retain your customer. Not only just a customer, also as employees, right? Don't make them if they're not happy, go to Monster. I'm not encouraging all of you to go to Monster. I'm encouraging push your job. But yesterday, Susan and Brian talked about the workforce prediction, those stuff. This is something, after this is the same theory applied to the customers, also apply to the employees, also apply to family. After you get married, you feel bored, and then before you get married, look at your wife, it's so pretty, look at your husband, oh, he's so nice. And then after you're married, how come I don't know that? And then you just feel so sick of it, all this stuff, right? And then you get to see the positive things, retain your significant the other. Appreciate they share the present with you, right? So, and then you motivate them. After she cooked the dinner for you, so don't say this is too salty. It's pretty good. You can eat less, right? And then after your husband mowed the lawn, he said, that's great exercise, good for your body, good for for your health, right? So and then promote, and for the employee, give them promotion. You certain not necessary. Some people they need the money incentive. Some people need the put it into a higher position. Some people just need a compliments words, and some people just need a good feeling, being a good environment, a good complimentary feeling, rather than hey, you didn't do this work today. Hey, you have a small teeny tiny error here, or you have a mistypo here. So it's something we need consider all this psychological feeling, and then we feed back to another opportunity. So after the customer being with us, very good, and he referred another customers, all the employee, all the your family, and he will put the psychological feedback into another opportunity. So then you will find the upper sale, cross sale, further referral. In the same theory apply basically our daily life in the psychological cycle. So this is why I call it holistic. Not necessarily consider everything, but it's at least something more than just a certain partial view, right? And since all of us do the predictive analytics, do the forecasting, do the data, so this is something we should feel proud. This is some area we integrate the statistics. We have to use some database, right? We have database, expert, and we need to optimize the business, the profit, optimize the process flow, you optimize the reduction of the cost. If you do the risk adjustment model, basically reduce the cost. If you do the media optimization, optimize the sales, minimize the risk. And also we do some machine learning. through all those data mine, do certain machine learning. We cannot torture us to mining those more than 100 million resumes for each of their experiences. We cannot do that ourselves. For those like millions of files of web logs, we cannot do those hand by hand, right? We have to do the machine learning, train the machine to be smart. So this is like all those interdisciplinary fields. We need to integrate those together. The business field, the accounting, finance, HR. Like yesterday, Suzanne mentioned about HR. This is something like really interesting. Especially like I noticed each HR. These facts or those signature data, those stuff. I was wondering, why don't we do this, electronic data collection, right? And then collect the data, we analyze data. But we have so many paperwork to do it for each new employee, right? So this is some field we need to integrate. Here, I just give 4 of those. You can keep on adding more. And later, you will do a much better job at your organization, at another department here. So here, just like give you an example of, when we do our prediction analytics, the key foundation is the data architecture. We need to architect the data, have the keys to join, to link those data together. Just to give example, not necessarily the best one. Put your company's one is the best one. So here I want to emphasize the point again. Like many of us do the primary research, do the survey. Right after, especially I used to work in consulting for years. And in the consulting industry, we do do certain survey. And then from the surveys, we start to draft out, this is the loyalty factor, the impact factor, based on the answer on do you like to refer this to your friends? 1 to 10, cut it 1 to 3 is like detractors, 5 to 7 is the neutral people, then the promoters, and then start reporting all this. In this percent answer this, that percent, and it looks like so fancy, right? But when you look at these people, it's just, yeah, I'm happy with you, happy with your company, happy with your product. However, I'm not going to buy from you. I'm going to buy from the other competitors. Something got to be hidden there beside their saying they're polite, they're nice to you. They don't want to hurt your feeling. But there must be something. You got to link the psychographics, what they're saying to what they are actually doing. Do any of you know, the years ago, the Sony boombox testing? Years ago, they want to do the market research, do the focus group. So they do a research study about the young kids. What color do you like? All the kids, yeah, I like this fancy orange, those fancy colorful color for the boombox. So Sony launched those with the fancy orange color, yellow, green, this color. But the sales doesn't go anywhere. Seems all the kids doesn't like to buy. So they basically recruit some people to do the focus group again, and then ask them, what do you like? And the kids still says, yeah, I like that. This cool, the fancy, colorful, bright pink, red, yellow, green, orange. Why do I like the boring black color like my parents? That's so boring. That's ridiculous. No way I can buy black one. So Sony decided to thank these kids to give the valuable time input and then the opinion input for their research, right? So yeah, that's proof our first research is correct. So, but we want thank you. So they put a box of this. One box is all black. The other box is full of this wonderful, beautiful colors. Boom up, and you pick one, and then as a thank you gift, guess what? All the kids exit the focus group room. They pick up the black one. They pick up the boring color as their parents. So this is something is this something primary research we got to believe? Yes, most time they are correct. I trust most time people are honest. They want to tell their feeling, but there's a certain psychological feeling behind it. So you need to go to link this to the transaction. What they actually purchased, what they actually picked from their box. So this is something you want to consider to link those. So if you have I have a discussion yesterday with those guys at Alliance Data. So many times we outsource certain like primary research to the consulting company. We have our own transaction that we want to protect. We don't want to outsource this. But they have their confidentiality, so they don't want to like put the survey response or email there. So there's no way for you to link. So you do get the fancy report about this, about that, but you cannot link those. So sometimes you just wonder, what do they say that those people, happy customer, what they actually bought? I remember years ago when I did the consulting for Talbot. I remember there's through the secondary data, appended data, apparently this is an old lady, and through the like primary research, like lots of complaints. I guess old lady do complaints, right? So, and then guess what? We finally link all those, this old lady with this the complaints. And also we find the log files. This old lady visits the website a lot, did a lot of research. And like search this style, search that style. And first when we see this such a complaining, like put everything like awful comments, this, that, like so many complaints, like so annoying, outlier, exclude her. But guess what? Once we link this to the transactional database, I was so scared. This is like such a rich lady. Spent like more than $240-something thousand. I was like, wow, where did she get so much money spent on the clothes, And this old lady is very smart on the website. Most old ladies don't use website. They probably use it. Once you saw the transactional data, you probably send them a catalog, mail them, phone call them, right? But this old lady is quite interesting. She opted out all those things. And also, she did a lot of search. Each time she searched, she cleared the cache. She thought, don't want you to see each time you clear the session cookie. Wow, this is something like a very impressive lady. This is like interesting. This is such an interesting outlier. We definitely don't want to exclude her out from our transactional, right? So this is something we want to bear this in our mind. I know sometimes in our daily work, we'll get this task from this corporate cat. We got to do this thing, we report this. And then we got to do that thing, we do that. But sometimes for us, in order to get some meaningful, really insightful strategy for the whole company's holistic big picture, we got to take extra steps, do extra dirty hands-on work to digging this data, linking them, matching them, cleansing them, normalizing them to let them spit out the truth, the real story. I remember years ago when I studied economics, I forgot the name, but I remember the sentence very clearly. It says, if you torture the data enough, they will confess. So this is something like we need to do. And after we linking all those data, put those summarized linking data together, and then we can start to do the predictive analytic process. We need to explore the data, find the pattern, and then do the predictive modeling, those stuff, and then formulate strategy, and then measure those. After the measurement, put the feedback, any adjustment, go back to the original data adjustment. So this is something like we will do. In the yesterday presentation, I heard many emphases on the business understanding. In the past, I have a shortcoming. I always put my eyes, focus on the computer, on the data, jump in the data mud, try to swim in the mud, working so hard in the mud. But once I swim the mud, finally sort something throughout, talk to those business people, actually find some of this are consistent with what they want, what their understanding. But some is really my lots of effort did not get appreciated. So after years of struggling, swimming in the mud of data, I find that I should make my life easier. I should start to stand up and talk. Let's have a talk. Appreciate other people's business sense and put their input. And put myself under, and then I can stand in the data. So this is the process we want to, just like any software user requirement definition, understand the business, and discuss with the sales, the marketing, what are the frustration the sales, the telesales they encountered. Discuss with the CFO, why you frustrated by the number, why you think about the reorg of this stuff. And then we jump into the data. And then we do the data preparation, do the transformation, cleaning, and then we do the modeling. And then evaluate from the evaluate process. We need to go back to those business people. This is something suit the business needs, or this is something implementable or not. And then once we get their approval or get their okay or get their blessing, so we can decide to deploy or implement those. So in that way, like a kind of a win-win situation. So we don't need to feel frustrated. I learned this lesson through years of hard work and frustration. This is something we want to, there's in the world there's so many sparkled dots. So we want to connect the dots together. So through the basic understanding. So this is the data as the foundation, and we want to understand the relationships. Now the data relationship, the business relationship, all kinds of relationship. I don't know whether you agree with me or not. I find the relationship in the world, whether your customer relationship, there's CRM, employee relationship, family relationship, friends relationship. This relationship is the connection. You cannot see, cannot touch, cannot smell, but it's there. It's something like give you the impact factor is really high. We just cannot explain them. But it's something we need to pay really attention to that. So from this understanding relationship, transform the data into the information. And transform the information through the understanding the pattern into knowledge. And then transform the understanding the pattern into the understanding the principle, become wisdom. When we were young, we said, wow, you're really smart. That's something good. But when we were getting older, I remember my kids says, wow, it's just like feel like mom's dumb. But it's suddenly when the kids grown up later, they say, wow, finally you have quite a kind of a wisdom. Or you learned quite a lot in the past years. So yeah, right. So this is what we do. Like we study the data, understanding what happened in the past through the, like I mentioned earlier, yesterday history. Sometimes we should care about, but history is yesterday's today, right? Is yesterday's present. So we need to understand what happened, what had happened, and what's happening, what the president want to share, and then we do the predictive analytics to see what's going to happen. So in that way, people say, wow, those predictive analytics gurus are really smart. Not necessarily smart, but also really wise, really give us certain guidance. So in the past, we spend 100% of our effort, we get like a 0.1% conversion. Now we spend like 20% of that, we get like a 3% conversion rate. Wow, this is so much increase, right? So now we start to talk about the real thing. Did I just talk about so much nonsense? So for the predictive analytics, again, we talk about we need to set up the business goal. What do you want? In the past, we say, I talk too much. Okay. I should slow quickly. So we need to set up the business goal. What is what do you want to acquire new customer? So set the prospect acquisition model, or you want retention, and then set the hypothesis. Or the same amount, similar people, we have the similar behavior. People have the similar needs. And then you set up the statistical analysis plan. So what are you going to do about it? How do you link the data? How do you define the dependent variable, blah, blah. So here I give a fancy picture. Since this is a picture drawn by my daughter. So since she always thinks I'm such a boring, dummy mommy, so I put her fancy stuff. So, sometimes when we see the data, it's mud. We cannot see clearly. But once we need to explore those, observe those, define those, transformation those, you will make the invisible visible. So that's our task. And also you need to tell the story, do the descriptive analysis. If you want to do the prospect acquisition, who most like to convert, then you need to compare what's the new customer behavior, what's the prospect's behavior, what kind of variable make the new customer stand out. And this is the basic. Sometimes your model prove water's wet, but sometimes the simple is the beauty. The simple model actually works. Everybody know what these two great men have in common? This is also related, this is our task. We need to find the pattern. The smart, the innovative, it depends on business goal. If you try to convince a dropout, a high school dropout, or college dropout, let them know there's a bright future ahead. So you got to know their comment is they both dropped out of college, right? But look at them, they're doing pretty good, right? It's okay. So this is something we're busy with, so all those, the prospects, and then who are most likely to convert to become our customer. If his data is huge, and the variable too much, you need to do the factor reduction of the variable. In the data here, do the cluster, make them divide conquer manageable. And then we do the RF model, who bought recently, who bought more frequently, who spent the most amount of money. And then you do the propensity who most likely convert. And in that way, so you will eliminate the percent, when we do you eliminate those percent who, from the primary who did not respond, and you identify the additional target from the propensity model. So this is the process years ago when I did the consulting for Philips New York. They tried to linking the Philips consumer electronics and Sonicare toothbrush. So we define the process, basically do the pre-post marketing and do the primary research and do the segmentation, and then we do the propensity who are most likely to buy across brand. So this is the process. Since my time is limited, I'm not talk too much. Yesterday I said during the dinner with these alliance people, I said, I'm speechless. And our friend says, I don't think so. And after we do all those busy work, we got to, do something to show our, we do all those work, got to let people to know we did the work, right? So after the predictive analytics, form the strategies. If you do the, seek a profitable customer, formulate the strategies and do the understanding customer needs, their patterns, and anticipate customer trend. You need to do early intervention after you do the attrition model. In what kind of early intervention you needed to intervene to put the strategy into it, and those strategies, predict sales inventory, to build effective marketing campaign, and to optimize, you do the media optimization. Rather than the prime time TV, you do the morning time drive, radio, So basically, control the same cost, try to maximize the sales, and to improve the product strategy. Make the people like your product, like to cross purchase, like to upsell their stuff. So after doing all those work, you need to measure whether it works or not. Set up the control group, split run, multivariant run, to measure whether, I think our corporate CFO, those people big, they like the numbers. So they invested the operating system, they invested business, they hire so many corporate dogs. But what do the dogs do? They do the predictive analytics. Over the years, the ROI is this much percent. Yeah, we did a great job. Okay. Do I go over the time?
How to put the resume on top of your search list?
How to put the resume on the top of the...
How do you predict your resume is a potential resume? You have a scoring mechanism?
We do have the score. When we have we architecture the unstructured data, the resume data into the database, put their experience into an experience. So basically, from all those texts, the key technology, those stuff, transform into numerical variable. And then you can, based on those numerical variables, score those. What is the most relevant for which, and then give them score.
Hope you can share the algorithm.
Keep our finger crossed.
What is the success rate of your predictability?
It's dependable. Like for example,
Repeat the question, please.
Okay.
No.
What is the successful?
What is the percentage success rate of your predictability?
Depends on different model. Like for example, when we do the global segmentation prospect acquisition model, like the lifter chart, we lift from random 10% into like 58%. Like there's 48% lift of the top decile, and we accurately for those we accurately capture more than 79%. The predicted rate accurate 79%. But for the seeker side, there is a the seeker side sometimes in the accuracy rate may be lower. Depends on the model.
What is the mathematical approach you apply to improve your predictability?
What is the method to improve our predictability? There's basically we try to the variables we try to transform the variables. I can give you an example more detailed. For example, in the past there's one country's model, prospect acquisition model. We find the employee size, the annual sales, none of those are significant, and the predictor is really low. What should we do? We basically, through the basic understanding of the euro acquisition for the company, per employee revenue. So we need to divide it by the total annual sales revenue divided by the employee, transform those, and then put them into categories, and they interact with the company age. So in that way, oh wow, that's increase the accuracy a lot, and also it's significant become.
All right, well,
I got a question.
you do.
I'm curious about the hiring and recruiting trends in China compared to the United States.
Monster acquired China HR as one of our representation in China. But the situation, the scenario there is quite different than here. So that part, I think I need to go back and investigate and get back to you. So you can email me. Here's my email address. You can email me, so I will investigate those and let you know.
Okay, I'd like to thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.